Howdy y'all. So I got a bunch of CDs, Blu-rays, and DVDs in my collection that I want to get on my Plex server, so I'm going to need to rip all these. Now ripping all of these can be a time-consuming process because you have to put the disc in, you got to go and click on this, click on that, take it off, and I got a lot of media. So instead, I'm going to build a machine that's dedicated to this open source program called ARM, or Automatic Ripping Machine. Basically, it's designed to where if you put a CD, Blu-ray, DVD, or data disc in, it will read it, rip it into the format that it needs to be, and then archive it, well, on your hard drive for you. I've collected a whole bunch of extra parts and bought a few things to be able to make this, so it should be pretty fun. Alright, so the main thing I'm going to be using for this is this Dell Optiplex that the disk drive is already falling out of because I've kind of already pre-removed it. But no, it's in there, trust me. This thing will serve as the brains, and then I'm going to swap out the DVD drive that's in there for this Blu-ray drive that should fit in nicely. And then there's currently no hard drive in here, so I got this PCI adapter for NVMe drives I'm going to throw in there. And then I also bought off Goodwill this HP Pavilion machine that I'm just going to rip the RAM out of, and the hard drive is going to eventually go in there as a place for me to store media. So it's going to be a hodgepodge of different things, and I'm going to put Linux on it. All right, let's crack this thing open. Okay, got the old DVD drive, don't need this anymore. It went on this bracket, so I'll put the new disk drive on there. Eventually I'll put in a hard drive in there, but I kind of want to start by putting the NVMe in there first. Just an extra NVMe I have lying around, already pre-wiped, so it should be good to put an operating system on it. And since I'm not putting a graphics card or anything in this, I'm just going to put it in the full lane. There you go, buddy. Get all the bandwidth you probably can't use. Alright, well, since this is going to get covered up by this tray, I might as well steal the RAM from the other computer. Yeah, this thing is tiny. I'm pretty sure it was used for like an office PC or something, but all I want is your RAM. Give me. Yeah, here we go. This is about 8 gigabytes. This current thing has 4 in it, so it's going to get 12. We'll see how it likes it. I only have 2 slots anyway. Actually, I should swap it out so that the smaller one is in slot 2, and the bigger one is in slot 1. There we go. 12 gigs of RAM. I know it's a weird number, but it should work. Might as well see what hard drive I'm working with here too. Ah, there we go. Okay, the screws are removed, but can I have the hard drive, please? Let's just take this whole thing off. Here we go. Give me your secrets. Ah, looks like there were 2 more screws I just need to remove. Here you go. Hold that for me, thank you. Alright, what do we got? Oh, looks like a 1 terabyte Seagate Barracuda drive. When were you manufactured? It's kind of blurry, but right there, manufacturing December of 2013. This drive is over 11 years old. I'll have to test it to make sure that it works before I throw it in that thing. Alright, so got the toaster hooked up to the Windows PC, and I'm just gonna put this in here and run Crystal Disk Info and see what it says about this hard drive. No immediate clicking is good, that's always good. Yeah, it looks like it's running fine. It has a Windows operating system on it. Alright, Crystal Disk Info is telling me that it's a good hard drive. I mean, it's got a lot of power on count and power on hours, but should be fine. Alright, you're going in the machine. Alright, and I already put the Blu-ray drive into the little caddy there. So this thing came with a DVD drive, but I'm putting a Blu-ray drive in there so I could actually rip Blu-rays as well. Let's actually just try putting this in before I put it in the drive. Oh, yeah, okay, I think that was the order of operations. Ah, there we go. Alright, this thing should be fully assembled. Might as well boot it up and see what happens. Oop. There we go. The amount of system memory has changed. Yeah. You probably are like, what do I have now? Okay, it's these are 2 SATA drives, but I don't know if it's actually going to be able to read the M.2 drive. Well, let's just send it and see if it loads in the windows. That's not a great sign. It's just a blinking cursor. Does not like that. Okay, so this thing also has an HDMI port built into the motherboard, so let's just see if it likes HDMI better. No, it doesn't seem like it. It might keep thinking it's a graphics card. I'm starting to think that this isn't really going to work inside this machine. Looking at the BIOS too, I didn't even see an option for it to boot to something that was not USB, hard drive, SATA, diskette, I don't know. Alright, after doing a little bit of research, yeah, this computer is actually way too old to be able to have anything where it could boot from a PCI slot, because it's going to not even know what an M.2 is. It seems it can see it as a storage device, it's just won't be able to boot to it. Okay, just finished installing Kubuntu to this drive, but I just had a realization. So if I replace the NVMe to PCI slot with a, let's say, PCI to SATA slot, I could then plug the Blu-ray drive into that, because we're not going to be booting from that. Then I can get an NVMe to SATA adapter and find some way to mount it inside this, so I can still have the smaller NVMe be the actual boot partition instead of this thing, because this is kind of loading pretty slow. But I don't have that part yet, so for the time being, I'm just going to boot off of USB using one of these adapters. It looks like the computer itself doesn't really want to run an operating system off of a USB 2.0 cable. So I think what I'll have to do is get some parts and tackle it when those come in. I'm not done with you yet. I will have my King of the Hill, I'll tell you what, but some other time, Hank. Some other time.